Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
Hi, everybody. Good morning to you. Welcome to the 8 o'clock hour of Good Day Orlando. It is Friday. Can you feel it in the air? I hope you're doing all right this morning. I'm Danielle Knox.
I can feel it for sure.
Good.
Dee, welcome back. Missed you for an hour. I'm Roddy Elijah. Here's what we're working on this morning. It's been a busy hour. Right now at 8, we've talked about 20 years. We just talked to Chief Verlone since Jennifer Kessie disappeared. The case is no longer cold. We're going to hear from her parents this hour about their emotions and where the investigation stands.
Also a Fox 35 exclusive this morning. The man who saved a boy who was being attacked by a homeless man is sharing his story.
My instant thought was, I might die.
But he acted anyway. We'll have more on this hero with the toolbox coming up.
Yeah, he is a hero. Plus a major winter storm impacting millions of Americans this weekend as it pushes across the east. Amanda Ruiz is live at Orlando International Airport as they're dealing with a ton of delays and cancellations. We're getting ready for them.
Absolutely. And Fox 35 storm team meteorologist Brooks Garner tracking the storm's every move for us this morning. But first, Fox 35's David Martin is joining us live from Claremont this morning. Hey, David.
Hey, Danielle. Hello to you, Ryan, as well. We have found a mini safari to take you on out here in Lake County. It is called Whispering Oaks. You're about to meet some cuddly mini cows and mini donkeys, and they want you to hug them. We'll do it for you here live on the 8 o'clock hour of A Good Day Orlando.
David's very comfortable. This kind of weekend here in Central Florida, you got to take advantage of the weather.
It's
going to be gorgeous.
Beautiful out there this weekend, Brooks.
It's going to be great, and we're whispering that it's going to be in the 80s because if we say it too loud, there's going to be an influx of people evacuating the winter storm up north to find solace here and escape. It is going to be a big deal up there. We're talking about a huge ice storm in Atlanta all the way to Dallas, and you can imagine the travel delays and cancellations with flights that'll trickle down here to Orlando for this weekend into next week. That's going to have huge impacts. Also, the biggest snow in almost 4 years heading for the Northeast, and also snow that hasn't happened in many years in parts of the Mid-South, heading from like Louisville west to Oklahoma City into the plains. Anyway, back home here, it is sunshine and beautiful today. Live view from the Evermore Resort. Look at that sunrise. 53 degrees for Jim in the Villages. Debbie Hoffman and Denellen with 46 this morning. Steve Montgomery, 46 and Denellen there. And David and Helen Hawkins, Homosassa, Citrus County, 51, 55 for Denise in Port Orange. Kind of a mild start to the day, and that's going to lead to highs today about 80 degrees. It's 58 this morning for Dennis in Titusville, 59 for Bill in Port St. John, and Jeff in Haines City has 56 degrees. Our weather spotters coming through as always. We appreciate you. We're going to warm up to 77 degrees by lunchtime, and as the kids get out of school this Friday afternoon, about 80. Just beautiful. Now coming up, we'll talk about what happens when that big snowstorm and ice storm moves away and the cold weather that surges toward Florida. Will it be here to stay? All right, let's get a look at our SkyFox traffic. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning. I want to let you know that we are seeing our pretty typical delays and backups near Lake Mary Boulevard, but at least the sun's shining, so that's some good news. It looks nice, but you can see that traffic is really stacking up and backing up near that Lake Mary Boulevard interchange at I-4 westbound, so just give yourself some extra time to make it through that particular stretch. We're looking at a 17-minute drive from Lake Mary Boulevard to Colonial Drive, so you're technically in the yellow. I'd give yourself 20 to 25 minutes if you can, just so you're safe and have some extra wiggle room. Champions Gate to downtown, you're up to about 37 minutes. So we can see that there are some backups still taking place near US 192, just past that stretch near I-Drive as you make your way towards the resorts and the attractions there. So that's going to be, again, one of our typical trouble spots, not due to any sort of incidents that I've found, just due to the fact that we have some congestion and a high volume of cars on the roadways at this hour. But St. Cloud to I-4, you're looking good at a 16-minute commute this morning, despite a minor slowdown there near Kissimmee. All right, it's 8:04. I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle.
Jessica, thanks. I want to pick up on the winter storm, of course, moving across the country. It's going to cause some travel issues over the weekend. This is right now the flight delays that we've seen around the country. Really not that bad. Boston, kind of the worst areas. We look at some of the delays they've had. Of course, planes sometimes do not want to fly into places that are going to be 11 degrees in a matter of hours. Let's bring in Amanda Ruiz. She is live at Orlando International Airport. Amanda, watching the boards this weekend, that's going to be reflected for sure as they get ready for a busy impact.
Let me tell you that Orlando here, the weather is not the issue, but it's going to be an issue around the country with this storm rolling in. But let me tell you, it got super packed here at MCO in the last hour and a half that I've been here. Let me show you that the lines here for the TSA lines have picked up. It's like people know that what's coming, so they're trying to get ahead of the curve. They're trying to get on their flight early. I know I spoke to one of my friends. He's in Texas right now, and he booked a flight to come here a little earlier because he knows just how bad this all is going to be. But right now it's going to look like it's going to be a day-by-day situation. You can see here that the TSA line is just past the barriers. People are lining up themselves in their own kind of formation just to make sure they're making it to their locations, because it is going to be a mess with storms, especially Sunday and Monday. Those are going to be the worst travel days because that's when the storms are going to be the worst. So if you're traveling on those 2 days, you need to make sure that you're on top of your flights, checking your status, all that, or try to get a flight earlier like these people are. I'll send it back to you in studio.
All right, Amanda, sounds good. It has gotten busy out there for sure. Let's talk about some new details now. This man accused of killing 3 tourists. Of course, this has made national headlines out of Kissimmee.
And now the state attorney says that he should have been behind bars. He was charged with attempted murder 5 years ago, but he never went to prison. In 2021, Ahmad Boja shot a stranger and put 9 bullets into a car at a gas station. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity. As part of his release, he had to see a therapist for outpatient treatment, but he stopped going when the price of the appointments increased. State Attorney Monique Worrell says violating the conditions of his release should have triggered an investigation, but the treatment center never reported it.
Questions as to why it didn't happen in this case, I think, would have to be directed towards the case manager and the agency who is responsible for his supervision.
And Worrell has heard the criticism from the state attorney general about not having a jury trial for Boja. She says she would have preferred he be involuntarily committed after his acquittal, but her office is bound by Florida law.
This morning, the IVF clinic at the center of the lawsuit is now responding. So the Fertility Center of Orlando, which is in Longwood, saying they're cooperating with the investigation to discover the source of the error. They go on to say they're focused on the well-being of the patient and the child involved. Back in December, a couple claims the clinic put the wrong embryo in the mother. Well, she carried the baby at length and then delivered it before discovering the baby was not hers. Lawyers for the victims, they are now seeking an injunction.
It is now 8:07, and to this Fox 35 update this morning, a local elementary school will turn into a first of its kind public charter school. It's happening at Orange Center Elementary School near Camping World Stadium. Parents have the final say and the most approved plan by those parents. It's a partnership between Orange County Public Schools and the nonprofit Lift Orlando.
About engagement. The promise to these parents is engagement and making sure that they have agency and voice in this process.
I think when we look at this public-private partnership, we are looking at a different way that we work with our charter schools. We're not in competition.
By 2029, it will become a K-9 STEAM academy. 8:08 into this Fox 35 exclusive this morning. We're hearing from that Good Samaritan who was armed with only a toolbox.
Yeah, Joseph Wells is truly a hero. He's the man that saved a teen that was being choked by a homeless man. Wells was taking his son to school when he noticed 2 people appeared to be fighting near a bus stop. He wasn't sure at first. He thought it was a couple teens playing, but then turned back around and he noticed it was 36-year-old Christopher Schwabel and a 13-year-old boy. He said Schwabel was dragging the kid. His first and only instinct was to step in and help.
In my head, I just saw so many bad things happening to that young man. And I didn't know if he was okay or not. And I had to keep control of the situation after that guy came at me with the knife. So I couldn't just let him up and let him walk down the street.
Wells only had his toolbox with him, and he used it to pin him down and took a shot at him as well until police arrived. Schwabel, you can see there, sustained some injuries, is now being held on no bond.
Well, we have a lot more coming up here in this 8 o'clock hour of Good Day Orlando, including...
Yeah, Jennifer Kessie's parents, Drew and Joyce, are going to join us live as well. Their daughter disappeared 20 years ago today. Wait until you hear the steps they've taken, some of the testing they've done. We'll see where that is right now as they join us live this morning, talking about the last 2 decades and what has happened recently with this investigation.
Plus, helping our neighbors to the north, OUC sending crews ahead of the big winter storm. So we'll talk about that. And let's talk to Fox 35's David Martin, who is down on the ranch in Claremont. Hey, David.
Hey, good morning, Daniel. Specifically, we are broadcasting live at 8100 Jameson Farm Road in Claremont. Belongs to Whispering Oaks Miniature Ranch. It's a mini cow safari, and it's brand new. You can pet mini Highland cows, mini donkeys, and more. You just got to hop on the covered wagon to get to them. We'll do that coming up here in a few minutes on Good Day Orlando.
Good Day Orlando is sponsored by Grills Lakeside.
Welcome back. 8:13. Jennifer Kessie has been missing for nearly 2 decades. She vanished from her Orlando apartment back on January 24th in 2006. Of course, her case went cold, but now investigators with FDLE, they are actively working to find answers. It's a different world. 20 years later, we've got a lot of new technologies available to us, and detectives can use artificial intelligence, DNA evidence to help solve cases. It gives family and friends of Jennifer Kessie a brand new hope. And Drew and Joyce Kessie, the parents of Jennifer Kessie, are joining us this morning. Thanks for both of us, for both of you, for being here. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it so long, and I know that she would be so proud of the effort you guys have put in for 20 years. And I know a lot of investigators and a lot of people out there praying that we do get an end to this. So appreciate your time today, and so many prayers going that we do get a conclusion and you find the answers you've been looking for.
And we thank everyone in Orlando. We appreciate you so much.
The support from the community as well as the media. So bless you.
Drew and Joyce Kessie, good to see you this morning. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
8:19 tonight, by the way, Fox 35 is going to have a special on the very latest in the search for Jennifer Kessie. There's at 7 p.m. tonight, so don't miss that. We'll have even more details on some of the evidence and what they've uncovered. We will be right back after this short break.
Welcome back, 8:22 on a Friday morning, and look at how cold it is in the Midwest. Minus 21 in Minneapolis. That surge of Arctic air is heading southward, and it's going to produce a winter storm. But not just any winter storm, the biggest in a very long time, and it's going to produce icing impacts, freezing rain from Dallas all the way to Atlanta into Charlotte, and this could cause massive flight cancellations starting this weekend and continuing into early next week. And early next week, the system then works into the Northeast, where it'll produce the biggest snowstorm in about 4 years, leading to more cancellations from Boston all the way down to New York and Philly. Now, we are exempt. We are not participating. We are opting out of this winter weather. We're going to be in the 80s this weekend. But the ripple effects to travel will be felt very quickly here in Orlando, as MCO has a lot of connecting flights out of these hubs like Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Dallas, New York, DC, Boston. And this pink zone shows you where the freezing rain will happen, where there could be widespread power outages. Traffic woes is an understatement. Some of these roads might not be even passable. And as far as the snow possibility goes, I think straight off the icing is going to be the worst from the storm, because that could lead to power outages for days and days, especially if power lines come down in some of those places. Oklahoma might catch 9 to 12 inches of snow. Louisville may get 10 to 12 inches or more, depending on if sleet gets mixed in. And farther north, Boston could get 12 to 18, maybe even up to 24 inches. Last time Boston had more than a foot of snow was just under 4 years ago. So it's the Northeast, they get snow, but to get this much in one dose is fairly rare. And so this is going to have widespread impacts. Winter's full fury, complete with Arctic air. And the problem for the South is that when power goes out across the icing region, a lot of the homes are heated with electricity, and so it's going to be very hard to live in a house if for several days power's out and temperatures are in the teens and 20s. That's what it looks like it'll be on Saturday. We're going to be sitting here at 80. And on Sunday, we're up to 86 degrees. Got to be kidding me, 86 degrees, closer to 90 than we'll even be to 80. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City 16, Memphis 21, Charlotte 31. You get the idea. Perfect weekend, though, for the Rolex 24 at Daytona with 73 Saturday, 81 Sunday. Couldn't have ordered up a better forecast. 54 for Luce in Ocala right now. 46 for Steve Montgomery, Denellen, Denise, and Port Orange. 55. Our weather spotters this morning reporting a mild start leading to this warm afternoon. 57 for Dylan and Ormond by the Sea. Dan and Oviedo, 52. You get the idea. Joseph in Orlando, 56, and a 7-day forecast with highs in the 80s for the next 3 days before we cool things down next week behind that winter system. But sans the wintry weather. That's good news. All right, Jessica, how's it looking out there on the roads?
Hey, I want to let you know that we have an incident that's popped up. This is going to be on the beach line heading westbound, so towards downtown Orlando. This is going to be very close to Wedgefield. You can see that left lane's blocked. They do have a fire truck. FHP and the road rangers are there. Looks like they may have actually towed away, or at least had one vehicle that has been moved away from the site. So that's some good news there. I'll show you exactly where it is on the map too, so we have a good idea. Again, this is going to be on the beach line heading westbound, just south of Wedgefield. It's causing some minor backups as well in the eastbound direction. So just give yourself plenty of time to make it through the stretch. You can see those backups are stretch well into far eastern Orange County. So just make sure you're taking lots of time and patience to make it to your destinations this morning. Let's get a look at some of our gas prices though. With Pump Patrol, the number's gone up a little bit. It's still below $3, $2.89 at the Sunoco. You can find that in Varies at Alfred Street and Jean Street. So at the corner of Alfred Street and Jean Street, $2.89 at the Sunoco. All right, Ryan and Danielle, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you so much, Jess. We appreciate it. Brooks as well. Coming up in our next half hour of Good Day Orlando, we are talking to a local dermatologist about some skincare trends like DIY sunscreen will separate health from hype.
Important topic here in Florida. Plus, David Martin is live from Claremont this morning on a beautiful morning. Hi, David. What a cool place.
Oh, look at that.
We have found them, the beautiful cows, the mini donkeys. They're all part of the mini safari available here at Good Morning Whispering Oaks Farm in Claremont, Florida. You're going to experience it as well. We're going to tell you how coming up live on Good Day Orlando. Don't go anywhere.
Good Day Orlando, sponsored by Launch Credit Union. Go beyond. Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
Welcome back to you on this Friday morning. We are on the verge of the weekend, 8:29. I'm Ronnie Elijah.
Hi, Ryan. Good to see you. You're at home as well. I'm Danielle Knox, and I hope you're doing all right this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. You know, usually the weather is pretty similar between Florida and Texas, right? Not this weekend. There is a drastic difference between Daytona and Dallas. It'll be nice and warm here, and Dallas, well, they are bracing for a major winter storm. Brooks Garner, as we bring you here into this conversation this morning, and there is going to be just such a distinct difference, but we're going to feel some of the residuals.
It's funny, we're about the same now. We're neck and neck. Their bottom's going to drop out.
The thing with an Arctic front is that it's such a shallow, dense air mass that you can drive 2 miles and it'll go from 55 to 11. And that's the kind of thing they're going to see in Texas. It's going to be a shock to the system. One wind gust and the temperature drops 40 degrees. 2 wind gusts and it can drop 60 degrees.
Wow.
Check this out. Here's a live view. It's minus 21 in Minneapolis. It's 59 in Orlando. That's an 80-degree difference between the two places. 80 degrees. Amazing. And when you have a temperature contrast like that, inevitably you get a big winter storm this time of year. That's exactly what's on the table for this weekend into early next week, with an icing event from Dallas into Little Rock, Nashville into Charlotte. That could snarl travel. Even the ATL, Atlanta, getting in on it, and that's going to make for really tough travel. Electricity may go out for a long time, and power lines may come down, and then a huge snow event up into the Northeast, the Mid-South, and parts of the Plains. We're going to be in the 80s. It is going to be an incredibly delightful, easy living kind of a weekend, and just such an incredible contrast to the winter wallop they're going to catch across 2/3 of the country. We will feel the effects here as far as flight cancellations go, starting this weekend into probably the middle of next week before things get back to normal. So a heads up, if you're trying to fly home from Orlando and you leave on Sunday, it may not happen for a couple of days. 53 in the Villages, 64 at Cocoa Beach. We're going to warm up to 77 at 11, about 78 degrees by 1. I guess there's worse places to be stuck, but if you got to get home, you got to get home. So plan accordingly. You may want to leave today. If you have any travel plans, just don't go. If you are doing it discretionarily, if you're going up to see some family or what have you, business, just hold off on it if you're traveling to any of those snowbound regions. So this is good news. The Rolex 24 Daytona this weekend could not be finer weather-wise. While the nation talks about this crippling winter storm, we're talking about an absolute amazingly perfect event weather-wise. 73 Saturday, 81 Sunday. Literally could not ask for anything better. Coming up, we'll talk about when, as Danielle mentioned, some of that colder weather will make it into Florida. All right, let's get a look at our Skyfox traffic right now. Whenever I see the racetrack, I think, that's like I-4.
Yeah, except not not, when there's a pileup on a racetrack, that's probably more so the similar situation there with the backups we get sometimes, with how slow it goes. But at least I will say I-4 this morning hasn't been too bad, other than what we would normally expect. Here's a live view of the beach line. This is where we do have an incident. They're working hard to clear this up, and they have been doing so pretty efficiently and quickly there. We have FHP, the road rangers there, some law enforcement vehicles, a fire truck. They still have the left lane blocked off. This is going to be close to Wedgefield, mile marker 25.5. That left lane's blocked. Again, that's where we have those delays, but also we have some delays heading eastbound too, so heading away from downtown Orlando, even though that's not where the crash is. So some onlookers, it seems, are causing some extra delays and backups. You're looking at over an hour drive if you're heading from Cocoa to the airport this morning. So just, again, make sure you give yourself plenty of time and patience, just because we do have that incident there on the beach line causing some extra delays. About an hour and 6 minutes is the technical drive time. I'd give yourself about an hour 15 if you can, just to be safe. All right, I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle.
A little Friday frustration.
Here we go.
Thanks, Jessica. We see, of course, power crews from other states often come to help us after hurricanes. Now it's time to return the favor.
And Fox 35's Marley Capper tells us what some local crews are doing this weekend.
Marley, thanks. They're going to make a big difference for sure. Hopefully their help is not needed as much as it could be. The power, just one part of the story. Travel really the other. Roads from Dallas to Boston being treated with sanitation crews working around the clock. Today, New York's going to begin citywide pre-snow treatment with 2,000 roadside workers starting with 12-hour shifts tomorrow. We're going to get an update on the air travel in our next half hour. So far, not too bad this morning from Orlando International Airport. We've got a live report coming up. It was busy there in our last check-in with Amanda.
Well, you know, we love our cute animals around this part of Florida, anywhere in Florida, really. And in one part of Florida is where we find David Martin, who's found a place where you can hug really cute, fluffy
He's riding a wagon around Whispering Oaks and Claremont, and he found those animals. Morning, David.
Good morning, Ryan. Hello, Danielle. We are broadcasting live from Whispering Oaks in Claremont, Florida, co-owned by Maite Bertrude and her husband, Juan. Good morning, Maite.
Good morning. How are you doing, David?
Good. All right, so Ryan and Danielle, find them on social media, give them a follow, but in the meantime, we're going to show you how to cuddle with them, and brush them, hug them.
David, can we join you in the wagon in the next hour?
Can we make it up there in time?
Of course you can. Broadcast with us down here in the wagon.
I would love to find a way.
Oh my
really
gosh,
cool.
that is amazing. Thank you, David. Well, just ahead, DIY sunscreen, preservative-free skincare, and beef tallow for your face. Are there health benefits behind these trends, or are they just hype? So we're going to talk to our local resident expert, our dermatologist, Dr. Knight, about them. Coming up, don't go far.
News breaks whenever it wants.
Information you need now. Stories that keep you safe, aware, and connected.
You can depend on us.
That's true. Welcome back. It's 8:43 on the Health Watch this morning. We are looking into popular skincare trends for you. People are avoiding traditional sunscreen, and so they're turning to things like preservative-free sunscreen, and they're using beef tallow on their faces. So the question is, are these ideas health or hype? You know who's got the answer. Dr. Matthew Knight is here to separate the health from the hype. He is the president of Knight Dermatology Institute. He's also a member of the Florida Board of Medicine. Dr. Knight, always good to see you.
Stuff that's available over the counter.
Really good information as always, friend. Pleasure to see you, Dr. Knight. Happy weekend and congratulations on that big victory.
Go Hoosiers. Thanks so much.
Yeah, he's still got bags under his eyes because staying up all night. All right, Dr. Matthew Knight, the president of Knight Dermatology Institute. It is 8:50. Stay with us. There's more Good Day Orlando coming up after this break.
Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Your voice matters. The 407 is your place to share your story and your community.
These little acts of kindness.
Meet me at 4 on the 407.
Hey, welcome back. It's 8:53 on this Friday morning, and oh my goodness, look at this mess on the map. This is what it's going to do this weekend and early next week across the country. We've got a widespread freezing rain, sleet, and snow event for 2/3 of the country. We are not participating. It is going to be in the 80s here this weekend. It is going to be absolutely stunning this weekend here in Florida. But such a huge contrast compared to the weather happening up north this weekend. Absolutely. Check it out. Widespread icing from Dallas to Memphis to Nashville to Atlanta, Charlotte, Richmond, places that typically don't see wintry weather of this caliber could experience what's considered enough icing to pull down tree limbs and even power lines, leading to widespread and long-duration power outages. That, combined with the arrival of Arctic air with temperatures at night in the single digits and teens, could make for some of these communities dangerous situations, because obviously, a lot of homes are heated with electricity, and if you don't have electricity flowing and it's in the teens at night, it becomes one of the situations where even inside the house pipes could freeze. Obviously, pretty hard to live in a house when it's 20 degrees inside the house. Unfortunately, that could happen in some locations in the south as we head into this weekend. Now, north of that icing line, there's going to be a sharp cutoff where it becomes snow. And there could be a foot of snow in Oklahoma. That could snarl travel on the interstates there and around the region. They get snow sometimes, and often not that much. Louisville could get 10 inches or so if it mixes with sleet. If it doesn't, they could get more than that. And in the Northeast, the biggest snow event in over 4 years for many spots, including Boston, could see 12 to 18 inches of snow here. This would obviously put a big halt on any kind of flights in or out of these major hubs: Boston, New York, Philly, DC, southward through Atlanta, all the way to Dallas. So while here it's going to feel like springtime with highs in the 80s. Look at this: Saturday 80 degrees, Sunday 86 degrees. We're going to see a lot of flight cancellations beginning on Sunday. Imagine if you're trying to get home, you've been on vacation, it's 86 degrees outside, and they say, oh, your flight's canceled due to weather. You'd be like, wait, what? But if you're trying to fly into many of these locations that either are at the destination of that hub, like Atlanta, or flying through, you may in fact find that your plane is not available. So plan accordingly. If you need to leave early to absolutely get back in time, leave early, leave tomorrow if you can. Otherwise, you may be delayed till like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. All right, 59 degrees Orlando, 56 Bushnell, 60 degrees in Bithla right now. We're warming up. And speaking of warming up, we're getting those engines warmed up. Saturday, Sunday, the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and the weather could not be finer, especially in the context of what's going around nationwide with all that wintry weather. We'll be in the 70s Saturday and 80s on Sunday. Now, ultimately, as that big wintry system moves away, a cold front associated with it does move through here on Monday of next week, bringing with it some showers and some cooler air. So we're not going to get anywhere near as cold as up north, but we're also not going to be in the 80s. But, a lot of people in Florida are okay with that. This is the rare time of year we can get some cooler weather, and it looks like Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday will certainly be there with 50s and 60s for highs. Well, it is time for our forecast. As you step outside, it feels like springtime. Just ask little Vader, who loves dog walks and belly rubs. What a cutie. Orlando is his location, and the world is his oyster. We'd love to share your photo. Go to fox35orlando.com/forecast or scan that QR code. Upload your photos. We'll feature them here. Hey, Jessica, what's the latest out there in our Skyfox traffic?
Hey, good morning. I want to give you an update on that incident from the beach line. Just now, we have the left shoulder blocked off, so that's some good news. It's still seeing some slowdowns, though, as people still try to merge and give them plenty of room to work to clear up that incident. So this is going to be a crash where we have that left shoulder blocked off on the westbound direction of the beach line, just south of Wedgefield, so near the Wedgefield area. So that's going to be an area where you want to make sure you give yourself extra time. We're actually seeing delays both east and westbound there, even though from what I can tell, we don't have any sort of problems when it comes to any crashes in the westbound, or excuse me, in the eastbound direction, I should say. So heading away from Orlando, still seeing delays. But if you're heading towards Orlando, 40 minutes for you if you're moving in from Cocoa this morning. So give yourself an extra 10 minutes or so. I'd say take about 45 minutes just to be safe if you're going to be heading that direction. But the good news is things are clearing up pretty quickly. Champions Gate to downtown, you're looking at around a 37-minute drive. Still seeing some slowdowns there near the attractions and I Drive. So that's just going to be a stretch you want to be mindful of. You can see traffic, though, looking pretty good near US 192. All right, it is 8:57. Stay with us. There's much more Good Day Orlando at the 9 o'clock hour coming up after the break.
Fox 35's community calendar is brought to you by these sponsors: